Welcome back, everybody. So happy to see you once again. Today we have some amazing news for a lot of players. A lot of people are going to be happy. We're going to be talking about the testing ground changes. We're going to be talking about Orochi's new buff and Highlander's buff as well. So hope you enjoy the video. Let's just get into it. So first thing I'm going to talk about obviously is Orochi's new buff. Now when these changes go live, Orochi on his chain top heavy finisher, it will now be changed into an unblockable heavy attack. So now he actually has an unblockable. This is one of the next assassins that will have an unblockable because Shaman has unblockable as well, which is very helpful when she's doing OOS pressure. So now that Orochi has one, his viability in the tier list is gonna go up significantly. They also decreased his light though, because his chain lights used to be around 400 to like 466, 433. You could delay it to certain timings, but now once they're gonna standardize all delayed light attacks to like 500 ms. So that'll be interesting. See how he plays out his own attack. I'm sure it's still gonna be like 466 as well. So that's a very happy buff that I think a lot of Orochi players wanted. I wish they would also change the Riptide Strike back to like a little bit slower and do more damage, but that's just me as an old Orochi main. But I'm not gonna lie to you folks, I do really enjoy this new change for the Orochi. I think a lot of heroes should have unblockables. It should just be a standard because when you're OOS, there is only two ways to actually do damage to an opponent who has like decent reaction timings. One is an unreactable bash or just a 500 ms bash, and two, an unblockable to make them go for the parry or give them a reaction. And if a hero does not have that, it makes them significantly weaker. Look at all the heroes that are in D tier or C tier. Most of them don't have unblockable or viable unblockables. So there you have it. Just give everyone an unblockable since we have no ways to open up people besides bash spamming. And do people really want to get bash spammed? I highly doubt it. But in all honesty, I think this is a really good buff for him. I wish they would have done more to him, maybe give him a little bit more utility. But however, that can be discussed on a different level. The next changes we have is to Highlander. So you know those slow 600 ms light attacks from neutral he has in defensive form? Yeah, that's going to be changed to 500 ms. So that's going to be a very helpful thing for Highlander. But to be honest, sometimes the 600 ms would really help you out because the thing about Highlander is that you don't use neutral lights from neutral in their face. You use it to backstep away and get into I wouldn't say Highlander stance, but it's called offensive form. And that was the reason that Highlander was considered very good on creating space. Some heroes could punish him very easily and he could bait them out, but Highlander 600 ms was really good for crushing counters because you could do it really early on like a little bit like early timings and you would still get the crushing counter timings on a lot of attacks. So this time you're gonna have to be more skillful and increase the skill curve, but I think most importantly it'll give him a chance to actually use his light attacks from neutral in someone's face besides just backstepping away. I think this will help him bring his viability up slightly, but not enough because they already nerfed his option selects, which was probably the strongest thing about him. So I mean, if you're good enough with Highlander, then you're obviously gonna win games because he has insane punishes and he's pretty good against a lot of the top tier heroes, which is pretty funny. So enjoy the new buff, everybody. So what do you guys think about the new buffs that these two heroes got? Orochi, top heavy finisher, really nice for OS pressure. Highlander, increased light attacks. Pretty good, I would say, very solid buffs that he needed a long time ago. I hope you guys are happy because I'm pretty static about this as well. Let me know what other buffs we should see in the future with these two heroes because I think they still need a few more incremental changes or maybe like a big rework. Because Orochi, of course, everyone wants Tozen's kick. Everyone wants that cool full block that he does that automatically parries, or he could do a kick afterwards, something like that. And Highlander, well, he already has a very interesting moveset, so there's a lot of things we could do with him. So let me know down below. Alright, so let's just dive on into the new testing ground changes. I'm just going to recap most of it because it's pretty much the same as the last time when they announced it a while back. Obviously, the first 100 ms is going to be hidden. It'll make neutral light attacks land more often, and it showed in the statistic data as well. It's gone up by like 5% for both platforms, which is really nice. And also that they're trying to make feints more believable. As you can see here, Raider Zone was, I would say it was mostly reactable to the high level players, and you can just tell by his animation. But now with the core combat change, as you can see, it looks a lot more believable. They'd taken away the smoke that lets you know that he feinted it, and so it's a very small flicker of smoke now. It's much closer to the body, and it'll be much harder to tell if he actually feinted it or not. So you have to kind of make a read and look at the animations a lot more carefully. I'm not sure how it will feel because I forgot how it's been when I did play the testing grounds, but that is going to be the consensus. Hopefully it'll be very interesting. But now we move on to probably the most important change that they've done in Testing Ground so far, and that is light spam has been nerfed, essentially. I mean, if you take a look at the footage right there, stamina cost has been increased when you're doing a chain light attack. And also keep in mind for the damage increase on all heroes, it's across the board, and that'll be interesting to see that light spam is probably going to be less useful compared to like normal heavies or mix-ups in general. And within this change as well, they're going to add frame advantage to the players who didn't light spam. So at the end of your chain, if you finish off with your light attack, the person who's getting hit is going to be able to retaliate with a light attack. Beforehand on the live version, if you got hit by 3 lights in a row or 2 lights in a row, you wouldn't be able to attack afterwards, and you actually trade if you did a light attack because they would have the frame advantage. But now it's the other way around, so you'll be able to retaliate, and there lies in the mind games. If they want to do a light attack again, you can just go for the parry. And with this change, there is also a different change for heavy finisher attacks for the offensive player. So if you land an offensive like chain finisher, as you can see with the Kensei unblockable, usually on the live version the defensive player would have been able to attack afterwards. So the game of who goes first on rock paper scissors or chess, your turn, my turn, that pretty much goes away and goes in the garbage. But I guess that's where the mind games come into play, and the high level players will probably take use of that for sure. That'll be an interesting mechanic because you always had to be somewhat defensive and wait for your opponent to attack afterwards, but some mind games would include on interrupting opponents when they were done with their attack. So that will be interesting to see when this comes out in the 6th. So what do you guys think of these changes? I know a lot of players are going to be happy about this, especially the console players and the lower level players and mid-tier players. This is going to help players a lot because light spam has always been an issue when it comes to not being able to react, and with these new changes you're not going to be able to react even more so. And so being able to hold your own ground after they're done with their light spam or light finishers, this will help players be more offensive overall, and I think we need to find more ways to deal offense besides bash spam. Hopefully light attacks and heavy attacks a little bit more helpful, and I think they are, so we'll have to see what the changes do when they come out, so I'll be super excited when they do. And the last thing I want to say is that of course the new hero is out, and a lot of people doubted me. How could you? I mean, look at all the data that we had, you know. They created new gear for this new hero. There's like 3 new gears. Ubisoft would never do that. They would never use that amount of money for an unplayable AI character. I think that was the biggest clue that we knew it was a new hero. I read a lot of comments on the last one, and it looks like a lot of people are happy, but a lot of people are also distressed about it because, you know, it's kind of a Warden clone. It's a Centurion clone as well, and it doesn't seem to bring joy out of a lot of people because it's gonna be another 50-50 character, and a lot of people hate that, but at higher levels it does help you win games. So we'll have to see when the hero comes out. He looks pretty strong right now, and I think he looks very aesthetically pleasing, which is the most important part for me, at least right now. And he's viable in a lot of ways, but I just wish that they would give the other heroes more balance updates and give them those tools, even if it has to be reused tools from other heroes. I would be fine with that. You know, just give Orochi Shigoki's unblockable heavy animation. That would be hilarious. And give Peacekeeper Jang Jun's heavy attack unblockable heavy. That'd be so funny. But hopefully you guys think the changes are new, and I'll see you guys when the testing ground comes out. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one.